Men, and I use the term loosely. It's, I don't know, day 8 on this project maybe. We're going to put the swing arm on. That's a nice fit in there. I've done other videos on installing the swing arms and the bearings, so I'm not going to delve into any great detail on these. The engine is still in the frame, which makes this a little trickier. If I tighten this nut down too far, it's going to cause problems. The dust caps never came out when I took it apart, so they're kind of my marker. If I start pushing a dust cap out, I've tightened it too far. And if I'm lucky here, the old stake marks might align. Because, of course, the engine is still in the frame, and you can't get to this nut to tighten it after the engine is in the frame. Okay, the dust cap just started to move, so I've backed it off to where the stake marks align, and we're going to call that good to go. And of course the other side. You know, out of the corner of my eye, I saw the battery exhausted warning come on. So I stopped what I was doing and changed the battery. So I was aware that the battery went dead. Usually I'm not. Usually it just goes dead, and, you know, 20 minutes later I figure out the battery is dead. But anyway, ready to shove this in. The hole on the frame has been cleaned out and lightly passed over with my dingle ball hone. This is the axle or the shaft. I'm going to gob this up with anti-seize compound, so hopefully the next guy won't have a hard time getting it out. All right, let's see if I can shove this in there. Ooh, that worked out pretty well. Ooh, that really worked out pretty well. Swing arm moves freely, doesn't bind. That should be good to go. Yeah, I'm going to call the swing arm good. There's no, or very little, no perceptible side play in it. It moves okay. That's done. Well, I got to put the safety clip in there. Otherwise, it's done. All right, swing arm and shocks are back on. That's a little bit of a milestone event. All right, got some Yang Po brake shoes. These actually are not too bad. A V-twin product, of course. One of the things you must do is you've got to put a taper or a bevel on the ends of these things. If you don't, when you apply the brake, it'll grab the brake drum and bad things will happen. And I know this because I've done it. Don't forget, bevel these things. And I'm going to take them outside, hit them with my 3-inch grinder, and I'm going to do it outside because this shit makes a mess, and I'm sure it's a deadly, Proposition 65, known by the state of California to be hazardous and cause cancer. So I'm going to go do these outside. I'll be back in a minute. All right, here's the little bit I ground off. Might be kind of hard to see, but put a little taper on there, a little taper on here, same thing on this one, a little bit of a taper here, I don't know, taper, bevel, whatever you want to call it. But anyway, you have to do this or the brakes will fuck up on you, don't forget. And V-twin Yang Po brake shoes. Wonder if that's what that means. Yang Po brake shoes, I don't know. So anyway, V-twin product. These are actually pretty good. I've used them before. They work okay. All right, I'm going to put the springs in and then use my brake shoe expanding tool to get the pivot points and the actuator in. I don't know, maybe you're strong enough just to grab these things and spread them. I'm not. Fucking thing. You get one in and the other one falls out. Time for the brake expander tool. If you've been watching my videos, you probably have seen this before. There's a jack screw in here, and when I crank the nut in, it pushes the jack screw out and expands the brakes so that you can put the bits and pieces in without hurting yourself. Little grease. And we could let the brake relax. Backing the jack nut off. Ooh, jack nut. Move it over to the other side. Expanding this side over here now. That should be wide enough. Yeah, a little more. Okay, that'll fit in there. Little grease. Then we can let the tool off, back off the tool. this thing, I'm just going to set it in the backing plate. All these parts have been cleaned out, wire brushed, blowing out. There's a grease passage in the middle of this shaft. Washer goes on here. Oops. This goes this way, not that way. Okay, so this brake is ready to go. I could set it aside until it's time to put the wheel together. Anyway, this mess is all basically pretty much back together again. This is the Speedo reset, and the threads are broken off the end. I can't find a new one of these anywhere, or a used one. Actually, I found a used one, but it's broken. The threads are broken off the same way they're broken off on this one, so I'm not quite sure. I may make this part. I don't know what I'm going to do with that exactly. But anyway, wiring is pretty much done. I got the one wire for the tack, and all the connections are made here. The switch goes in, the headlight goes in. It should be pretty well set. Just FYI. The original headlight shell was cracked, like they all are. I had to use one in good shape, so it's a used headlight shell. Let's go around my bench. We'll start way down there. That box over there, the red box, has got my electrical crimps in it. Spool the sheathing. Went to Ace to buy some more heat shrink. Oh, junk. Propane bottle. Turn it down low. Actually, it's MAP gas. Turn it down low, and I use it to shrink the heat shrink. More sheathing, scissors, rags, grease, zip ties, heat shrink, bits and pieces, odds and ends. The next engine rebuild. Down here on the floor, we got the bin of miscellaneous electrical crapola. Actually, that white thing over there is full of odds and ends of old Harley bullshit. The bright indicator light, as if you need one on one of these fucking batteryless ignition systems. But anyway, the bright indicator light base is fucked up. I happen to have an old one in there, so that's been replaced. But yeah, wiring is pretty much done. Gonna clean this mess up, and it's kind of a big mess. And then I'm gonna take the clutch out because it was acting a little funny when I was driving it. And I'll get started on that once I get so you can see the workbench again. Let's see what this clutch looks like. And my trick for removing the spring, grab the spring with the 1/4 inch socket to lever it off. Like I said, I believe this bike to be very original and kind of interesting. The screws that hold this bracket on are round-headed, not Philister-headed. If you watch the Hareton videos, I think it was the Hareton, I popped this cover off and I got a lap full of oil from behind here. So I don't know what's going to be behind this one. And look at that. Perfectly dry on the inside. You know, I tell people that usually I find them dry on the inside. Keeping them dry is not as big a problem as people make out. This one is perfectly dry in there. We're going to look at the plates anyway, though. Like I say, the clutch felt a little weird. But anyway, we're going to check it out. It's a little glazed over. Looks like it's been slipping a little bit. That clutch isn't horrible. I think I'm going to get him a new one. I mean, it's just glazed over enough. Looks like it's been a little hot. Looks like it was slipping a little bit. Not horrible, but anyway, you know, and these clutches, for some reason, my 3 or 4 usual places I would get them at, these are NIS, back ordered. 2 or 3 different kinds, Barnett, Alto, and the reproduction ones, NIS. So I'm not sure what's up with that, but I do want to get a new clutch for it. Huh. Maybe new springs too, just because these have been compressed for the last 15 years or thereabouts. Anyway, that's all I have for you today. Let's look for some cracks. Wow, I don't see any cracks, no blowing out screw holes. Yeah, this thing is in good shape. Real good. Glad to hear it for this owner. Good. We'll clean this up, get him a new clutch, put it back together again, and that's all I have for you today. Yeah, this looks real good in here. No cracked screw holes. Clutch is a little glazed over. Look like it's a little hot, slipping a little bit maybe. We'll get him a new clutch, maybe get him some new springs, just because these have been, squished for the last 15 years or whatever. Wow, the wear pad. It's a little loose. I might get a new wear pad in there. This one's a little loose, but it doesn't look too bad. But anyway, that's all I have for you today. I am out of here. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye. Just a quick reminder. You can help support and grow this channel, first of all, and most importantly, by hitting that subscribe button. So if you haven't subscribed already, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. If you'd like to do a little more, join me on Patreon. Links down below. So go ahead and join me on Patreon if you feel so inclined. And finally, coffee cups, stickers, and gas tank covers are available. This is a new design coffee cup. I like the old ones, but I like these new ones even better. Links will be provided in the description down below. Get yourself some. And thank you all ever so much for watching these videos. I really appreciate it. Bye.